Have you ever woken up in the morning with a heavy chest, wondering if you're good enough? Not because someone told you that you aren't, but because a tiny voice inside your head keeps repeating it over and over again? That voice, that subtle whisper of doubt, that feeling of maybe I can't, or maybe I'm not made for this, that's the beginning of the silent battle. And here's the truth, no one talks about enough. Almost every single person you admire, follow, or aspire to be like has fought or is still fighting that exact same battle. Self-doubt isn't loud. It doesn't bang on your door. It sneaks in, slowly, quietly. It shows up when you're about to take a big step, when you're standing at the edge of a decision that could change your life. It walks with you when you enter a new room, start a new job, pitch your first idea, or share your art with the world. And the worst part? It pretends to protect you. It tells you, don't speak, they might laugh. It says, don't try, you'll probably fail. It whispers, don't dream too big. It might hurt when you fall. But let me ask you this, when did that voice become your truth? When did you start believing a voice that doesn't celebrate you, that doesn't empower you, that doesn't even know your full story? Self-doubt is not your voice, it's an echo of things you've heard, moments you've misunderstood, failures you magnified. It's the after effect of comparison, of criticism, of trying to fit into boxes you were never meant to be in. But let me tell you something powerful. If you can doubt yourself, you can also believe in yourself. Why? Because both are just thoughts, and thoughts can be challenged. They can be rewritten. Now, imagine this. You're standing in front of a mirror. The reflection looking back isn't your current self, but a version of you that never doubted. Eyes full of purpose. Shoulders lifted with pride. A face that knows it belongs. That version of you, it still exists. It's waiting. It's buried under years of hesitation, of hiding, of maybe later. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you never feel scared. It means you choose to move forward despite the fear. It means choosing your truth over your doubts. And here's the truth. You are more powerful than you think. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the opinions of others. You are the architect of your life. And that power, it's already inside you. So why do we doubt ourselves? Because we were never taught how to believe in ourselves. Think about it. From a young age, we're taught to follow, not to lead ourselves. We're told what success looks like, how to behave, what dreams are realistic. But belief? Real, unshakable belief? That's not given. It's grown. It's grown every time you try again after failing. Every time you show up when you want to hide. Every time you choose to love yourself even when it's hard. And this battle, this silent war inside your mind, you can win it. Start by becoming aware of the voice. Notice it. Question it. Next time it says, you're not enough, ask, according to who? When it says, you'll never make it, respond with, watch me. Turn self-doubt into self-dialogue, into a conversation where you take the lead. Because here's the most beautiful part. Belief is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small, celebrate little wins, speak kindly to yourself. Surround yourself with people who reflect your worth, not your fears. Create a life that matches your dreams, not your doubts. And remember, you are not alone. Every person you see standing tall today once had knees that shook. Every confident speaker once feared their voice wouldn't matter. Every successful person once felt like an imposter. The difference? They didn't stop. They didn't let the silent battle win. And neither should you. Because someone, somewhere is waiting for the magic only you can bring. Waiting for your voice, your story, your spark. But before they can believe in you, you must believe in you. Not just when things are going well, not just when others clap, but especially when it's quiet. Especially when no one sees you. Especially when it's just you and that mirror. That's when it counts the most. So next time you hear that voice of doubt, don't run from it. Face it, smile, and say, thank you for trying to protect me, but I've got this now. Because you do. You've always had it. There's something deep inside you, a quiet spark, a restless energy, a feeling that you're meant for more. You've felt it, haven't you? In those silent moments when the world is still, when you're daydreaming about a life that feels bold, purposeful, and fulfilling. That feeling isn't random. It's your potential calling. You see, the world will try to convince you to be ordinary, to play small, to shrink yourself to fit into comfortable boxes. But here's the truth. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to stand out, to shine, to create waves, to break patterns. Not because you're better than others, but because you're uniquely you, and no one else can offer what you bring to the table. Ordinary is safe. Ordinary is predictable. But greatness? Greatness requires courage. It asks you to step out of line, to say no when others say yes, to rise when it's easier to settle. Think of every person who has inspired you: artists, leaders, change makers. Were they ordinary? Number. They were misunderstood. They were doubted, but they didn't let that stop them. Because deep down, they knew, just like you know, that there's more to life than blending in. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. You'll face resistance. You'll question yourself. People might not understand your path, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be true to yourself. Being extraordinary doesn't mean being perfect. It means being bold enough to be authentic, to speak your truth, to follow your vision even when the road is uncertain. That dream you have, the one you keep putting off, it's not a coincidence. It's a glimpse into what your life could become if you stopped holding back. You weren't born to merely survive. You were born to thrive, to create, to lead, to inspire. Ordinary will never satisfy a soul that's meant to soar. So the next time you feel like giving in, remind yourself, you are here to be more. Not for the world's approval, but for your own fulfillment. Not to fit in, but to rise above. You are not ordinary. You never were. And it's time the world saw that. Failure. A word that makes most of us flinch. We avoid it, we fear it, we see it as the ultimate sign that we're not good enough. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if failure is not the opposite of success, but the very foundation of it? Look around at anyone who has achieved anything meaningful. They all have one thing in common. They failed, and they failed hard. But they didn't stop there. They turned their failures into stepping stones. Think about a building being constructed. Before anything rises above ground, there's digging, deep digging. Foundations are laid below the surface. They're hidden, but they hold everything up. That's what failure does. It digs deep into you. It hurts, but it creates space. It builds strength. It humbles you and teaches you what no success ever could. We live in a world obsessed with winning, with highlight reels, with instant gratification. But real growth, real transformation, that happens in the shadows, in the setbacks, in the moments you thought you'd never recover, but somehow you did. Failure teaches you resilience. It strips away the fluff. It shows you what really matters and who really matters. It brings clarity, and more than anything, it gives you grit. The truth is, failing is not the problem. Quitting is. As long as you keep going, every failure is just a lesson, a chapter, not the end. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will come right after your deepest breakdowns. Some of your biggest wins will grow from your worst mistakes, because failure forces you to confront yourself, to adapt, to evolve. Think of a baby learning to walk. They fall again and again, but they don't say, maybe walking isn't for me. They try again, they wobble, they get bruised, but eventually they walk, and then they run. So why is it that when we fail as adults, we stop? We internalize it, we attach meaning to it, we tell ourselves stories. I'm not good enough, I'll never make it. But failure isn't a verdict, it's feedback. It's not saying you're not meant for something, it's saying you're learning, you're trying, you're in the arena. And that's where greatness is born, not in the crowd, not on the sidelines, but in the messy, painful, beautiful middle of trying and failing and trying again. So the next time you fail, good. That means you're daring, you're growing. You're becoming the version of yourself who can handle the success you're chasing. Let every failure strengthen your foundation. Let it teach you, shape you, toughen you, because one day you'll look back and realize those failures didn't break you, they built you. If you were handed the most powerful weapon in the world, one capable of shaping your destiny, lifting you to greatness, or dragging you into despair, wouldn't you want to learn how to master it? Here's the truth. You already have that weapon. It's your mind. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every word you speak, every dream you chase or abandon, it all begins with a single thought. And that thought, it carries the power to either build your future or bury your potential. Most people live their lives unaware of this truth. They go through the motions, letting their thoughts run wild and unchecked. They allow worry, fear, comparison, and negativity to sit behind the wheel, steering them away from purpose and passion. But what if you could change that? What if, starting today, you took control? Imagine this. You wake up and the first thought in your mind isn't dread or doubt, it's clarity, purpose, belief. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you've trained your mind to fight for you, not against you. That's the power of mental discipline. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. Aware of the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you carry, the patterns you repeat. Let's break it down. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your emotions influence your behavior. Your behavior shapes your habits, and your habits determine your future. It all starts in the mind. So, if you keep thinking, I'm not good enough, guess what you'll feel? Insecure, defeated, powerless. But if you shift that thought even slightly to, I'm learning, and I'm growing, suddenly, everything changes. You begin to act with courage. You speak with confidence. You move through the world as if you belong because you do. Your mind can be your worst enemy or your greatest ally. And the difference lies in how you train it. Just like the body needs exercise to stay fit, your mind needs repetition to grow strong. Daily affirmations, gratitude practices, visualizing success. Surrounding yourself with voices that uplift, not tear down. Protecting your mental diet just like you protect your physical one. Would you eat poison every day and expect to be healthy? Of course not. So why do we feed our minds with self-hate, negativity, and comparison, and then wonder why we feel broken? Here's the truth you must carry with you. Your thoughts are not facts, they're patterns. Stories, many of which you didn't even choose. They were handed to you by society, by family, by fear. But now it's your turn to rewrite them. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are not hopeless. You are powerful beyond measure. And when you begin to master your mind, you begin to master your life. You don't have to be fearless, just mindful. You don't have to erase every negative thought, just don't let it take the lead. You don't have to be perfect, just committed. The world will always throw noise at you. But if you've trained your mind, you'll know what to listen to and what to shut out. Because in the end, no voice is louder, no force is stronger, no tool is more powerful than the one already inside you. So sharpen it, guard it, believe in it, because your mind, your greatest weapon, is already yours. And once you master it, nothing can stop you. Let's get real. For far too long, many of us have waited for permission, waited for validation, waited for the perfect moment. But here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time to become who you're meant to be. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need applause to take your first step. You don't need a spotlight to start shining. All you need is one powerful decision to stop waiting and start rising. Because the world doesn't change when you sit quietly in the corner of your comfort zone. The world changes when people like you stand up, when you raise your voice, when you take that leap, when you dare to be seen. The question is, are you ready to rise? Maybe you've been silenced by fear. Maybe you've been held back by the weight of other people's opinions. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're too small to make a difference. But let me tell you something loud, clear. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Your story matters. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to speak with truth. You don't need to lead millions. You just need to lead yourself. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next right step. Standing up doesn't always mean shouting from rooftops. Sometimes it means saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. Sometimes it means saying yes to a risk your heart knows you're ready for. Sometimes it means getting back up after being knocked down again and again. Speaking up doesn't mean you always know what to say. It means you refuse to stay silent about what matters. Rising up doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you refuse to stay small. Because here's what happens when you rise. You give others permission to do the same. Every act of courage creates a ripple. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you open a door for someone else. Every moment you push through the fear, you remind others that they can, too. This isn't just about you. This is about the world you help shape when you stop hiding and start owning who you are. So, take a look at your life right now. Where are you staying quiet when your soul wants to speak? Where are you sitting down when your purpose is calling you to stand? Where are you shrinking when you should be stretching? It's time to rise. Rise from the past that tried to define you. Rise from the pain that tried to break you. Rise from the fear that tried to silence you. And when you do, don't rise alone. Reach back and lift someone else. Speak up for the voiceless. Stand for the forgotten. Light the way for those still in the dark. You weren't born to play small. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to repeat the same safe patterns. You were born to rise, to inspire, to shift the atmosphere, to leave a legacy. So here's your call to action. Today, not tomorrow, not next year, but today. Take one step. Say the thing.
Do the thing. Stand for the thing. Whatever it is you've been holding back, release it. Whatever voice you've been silencing, let it speak. Whatever truth you've been avoiding, face it head on. You have one life, one shot, one chance to write a story that reflects your true power. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait to be ready. You are ready. Stand up. Speak up. Rise up. Because when you do, the world will never be the same again. It starts with you, and the time is now.